from. It feeds off itself. It sustains itself.
I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people that are watching this, so it must mean that this must have some truth to it. I'm thinking that because it has 500,000 views, that equates to 500,000 people. And so that was a major part in my indoctrination process of continuing to watch more and more videos.
We are Melanation. We are here to show you who you are. You can't tell me I ain't home.
Everything online seemed cool.
This is Coach Victor right here. We got the market, bailing our food out of jail. Looking again,
mangoes. It's about peace. It's about nature. It's about the sun. It's about living healthy and simple. Like, that's what everything is in that. They're cool people.
Yeah, looking like a yo. Hey, hold on. Let me that.
When I was younger, my parents never took me outside of my community. We were in more gentrified places of where the rich people live. In our community, people who are of the minority, we experience extreme poverty. We do not have access to adequate housing, adequate food sources. I just didn't want to be depressed anymore. I didn't want to feel lonely anymore. I felt invisible, like I was just so different from everybody else and didn't have a place in the world. I was deep into college and I found social media to be a place for me to express myself. NatureBoy was in my feed, and so I started to look at the tribe.
Melanation is the perfect group to join because you're going to be around that melanin. Melanin is what creates the pigment in your eyes, ear, and skin.
Melanation was geared more toward the idea that if you had more melanin, then you were closer to the earth.
We are all reflections and refractions of the sun.
This was a group of African Americans, darker skinned people, what we would call melanated people, coming together for a cause. So this was revolutionary to me. I felt immediately like, wow, this is a group of people where I can express myself and I could potentially be heard. This could be where my life changes for the better.
What's going on, y'all? I'm gonna you can find me on Facebook at I'll Make the Ancient.
After watching many of the videos, I decided to reach out to one of the people in the group who I thought I would have a natural, genuine, pure connection with. His name is Omek. 2 weeks had went by through our exchange of conversation, ideas, the mind, the heart, on a very spiritual level. I thought I found the love of my life. My mind was just like, gotta be with you, gotta be there, gotta be close to you. I want to see how this evolves in real life. I had never left the United States. I did not have a passport. So I put one foot in front of the other to get my passport. And I was like, I'm gonna go. I just absolutely knew that I was not coming back. I knew that this was the end of me ever experiencing being in the States ever again. And I mean, going for the first time was one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had in my life. As we were driving from the airport, the scenery outside of the vehicle was just mountains on top of mountains for stretches of miles. Me and Omek were so wrapped into each other, my world disappeared. I remember thinking to myself, like, my romantic desire, dream has come true. When we finally arrived Omac introduced me to NatureBoy. When he first opened his mouth was when my world got dark. NatureBoy was 34 years of age when I initially met him. Physically, his appearance was very attractive, but outside of his physical attractiveness, to me, he just was like a father. I just pictured him as a father, like his demeanor, like all of his mannerisms was just like dad vibes. And that's how I saw him. I looked at him as like a guru, so I had a lot of respect for him. It's like having respect for God in a way. As we started getting into the more detailed parts of their everyday life, I thought it was cool. It was different. They lived out of tents at the time. They had a home, nice kitchen. This is so good. Huge yard. It was like waking up in paradise every day. Going from a place where it was hard and just depressive to a place of liberation, being free. I just literally felt like I was inhaling life.
These people are from Louisiana, New York. They're from all over the states, and so there's a level of familiarity involved. It's like, oh man, these people, come from where I come from. They understand the racism, injustice that I've experienced in America,
My name is Chantel. I go by the T on YouTube. And I was introduced to melanation via NatureBoy, aka Legio. I would watch him all the time.
Melanation is out there for you. I'm going to show you how DJs cultivate melanation.
It was appealing probably to people who were looking for community, or looking for to live off grid. But what it looks like to someone like me is Legio just selling a dream, a pipe dream.
Anybody that got any common sense can feel that something's coming.
He felt that this is where I belong because I have autonomy out here. I make the rules, I call the shots, and if people want to follow me, they can.
Once anybody joins melanation, you have no choice but to change your name. Usually your name comes from him.
You're not a number, you're not a social security number, you're not a birth certificate, you're not your last name, you're a cosmic being with a sound.
There was a belief that your name, as far as it pertains to your birth certificate, social security number, IDs, those things were an illusion.
I refuse to be called Velvet because that is not me. Stop calling me Velvet. When he would call upon that name, he would call upon the character that's in his mind that you are.
All right, so everybody, tell them your name, reflection.
My name is Key.
I'm EJ.
You can find me on Facebook at I'll Make the Ancient.
He would express on multiple occasions that if he had named you, he had some type of power over you. He needed to call me something else so that he can feel like he was the creator and orchestrator of who I was to him at that moment.
The name changes were really just NatureBoy flexing his muscle, asserting his power.
We are all doing witchcraft, so what someone calls you is summoning and invoking who you truly are.
We were only able to eat certain items, and we only was able to eat things outside of what he originally told us to eat if he had consented.
Nature is the way. You got to eat from the earth. You got to eat organic.
It was really a strict diet that he wanted us to follow because he wanted the public to believe that his way of life and his regimen behind eating was the healthiest. So That was another way he implemented structure.
We call this the pop. This is not shit. Who? None. It's very sick. We're going to take this and put it in the toilet. And disconnecting you. I remember this shit like it was just when people started going
in the yard, everybody had their own tent that they would rest in at night. We were not allowed to use the restroom in the house. We were all ordered to use the restroom outside. NatureBoy's reasoning behind it, he wanted to limit the usage of the plumbing system because it wasn't healthy and it was contaminating our water. So I was thinking to myself, how am I going to execute my first restroom experience? I woke up in the wee hours of the morning, my first night there, and I had to use the restroom so bad. I actually made a decision to go into the house and use the toilet. I lose. And I flushed the toilet like twice. That next morning, we congregated, and there was a talk about who went to the bathroom last night. I did. The following day, of course, I had to use the bathroom. So then I started experiencing using it outside. And eventually, I did a tomato plant from my own. Dead serious.
Tell them about what we got going on, DJ.
This is tomato.
Tomatoes right here.
Yeah, this is definitely tomato. You can smell it.
It was like this extreme connection to nature. They would be talking about, living off the land and using the bathroom in the woods instead of the toilet because it connects to nature.
That's what watermelon is about. I want to show you something. I'm always eating watermelon. So I empty my pot over here. This is where I empty my pot. Here you see the black seeds from the watermelon that I eat. It's coming out right here. Seeds. And look at this. Look at this coming out of my soil. Watermelon.
Some people will look at it and be like, wow, this is some of the most bizarre nonsense I've ever heard. But a lot of people will see that this guy knows what he's talking about. And I should give up my life and join it.
Come on, ladies. We got that. I want a real man. You can challenge you. He's a real man right here. About 6'3".
He recruited his members utilizing his current members. So he would have his male members attract women. Women would reach out to them, they'd be in their inboxes, trying to get them to come there. And he utilized those men to recruit them into the group.
They need wives. We need some good women that have some nature. They need goddamn wives. This is detailed answer. This is OMAC, right? That's the rest.
NatureBoy kept asking me questions like, are you sure you want to be with OMAC? Are you sure you want to be with him? Are you sure you want to be in a relationship with him? It came across creepy to me, but I didn't take that personal, but it became uncomfortable for me because I was in a relationship.
So Legio, he didn't want any of those women to be with any of the guys there. He wanted them all for himself.
I'm Alex. I'm from Toronto, Canada. My family's from Portugal. I have a very beautiful family, big family. As I got older, I just really love sports. Trying to get into fitness and becoming a bodybuilder. My story kind of starts back in 2016. I was watching all these documentaries about factory farming and why we shouldn't eat meat.
What are we on? Infiltration. What are we on it?
And I kind of fell really deep into that. The first video I seen of NatureBoy, he was in his apartment and he was showing his grocery haul. And that's kind of what intrigued me, seeing what he was eating.
This is what I eat every day. I don't use the refrigerator, so drink my water. There's water in here. Potassium. This is my transition before I go into nature and move out of the country.
His charisma really pulled me in. It was like, this guy's like some spiritual gangster.
Welcome back, Johnny.
I was like slowly building a relationship with NatureBoy online. And he was treating me like a brother. So I got a sense of, this guy likes me. He likes who I am.
Come on in, reflection.
NatureBoy was going live on Instagram a lot, on YouTube.
Listen to NatureBoy right now. I'm about to show you how sex works, how your body works.
The process of going from a viewer to actual involvement in the code was gradual. I went from a viewer to a commenter. I'm getting actual responses back from them, so the engagement level has increased. It's a new level. Then the next level was actually speaking to them in real time.
Right here, we do this salute.
It was clear to see that he wanted to build a following.
Follow me on Facebook right now.
He wanted people to know who he was, and he wanted his message to get out there.
Whatever you take, give back. And life will be full of blessings. Share the video.
When I was watching online, I never seen any white people, but he did also say that being white is not a disadvantage, that you can build this up, you can tan, you can get darker, and then Kayla showed up.
I'm really starting to get some in here.
I was the first white person to see him NatureBoy. So that whole stigma of all this money for black people kind of changed.
We start tonight with a bizarre story about a corner broke woman who's now in Costa Rica living in what she calls a cult.
I host a podcast called the Nighttime Podcast, which covers unique and offbeat Canadian stories.
Kayla Reed left Cornerbrook under the guise of attending a church conference in late February. Then she was reported missing.
So I was watching the story of the disappearance of the missing person, Kayla Reed, when the revelation came out that she appeared in the background of a Costa Rican preacher's YouTube channel.
I've never been so happy. I'm becoming happier and happier every day here. Really feel like I'm with my family.
I started watching the story and trying to understand how a young woman from Newfoundland ended up across the world in a YouTube video.
So this is the things that he would have his members do before they can join. Leave your family.
You have to separate yourself from your own family.
I see what you said. And only listen to me.
Attachments have been given to you that you must overcome. Stop the illusion of family. I'm your family.
I was almost speechless at just how intense he was. It certainly left me with concern over the people with him, because it was clear that no part of this was an act.
You know this is not how life's supposed to be. Get to the sun.
I can only imagine how concerned her parents were.
They were NatureBoy in some kind of criminal.
A cult leader. But they never tell you what my cult is about.
What really stood out to me was how much power NatureBoy or Elijah Bishop had within that group, within that tribe.
I'm a culture, and the culture is to live in harmony with nature.
The media in Canada was using the term cult, and he was defending himself saying we are not a cult, we're a culture. I think from my experience and everything I saw, it would fit that stereotypical definition of cult.
Cult leader is a person who recognizes vulnerabilities that every human being has and exploits those vulnerabilities to manipulate people to get them to do what they want them to do.
Did I call you like, hey, come join us, be here with us? Am I controlling and manipulating your mind?
Her family started to get involved because they noticed that it was in fact a cult.
Wait, isn't NatureBoy a prejudice? Isn't he racist shit? I see how white people there.
Her family involved the consulate, they involved the government, they involved everyone that they could think of to make enough noise and get enough people involved in their plight to get her home.
Well, Elijah Bishop is a 34-year-old from Atlanta, Georgia. In our conversation, he was adamant Reed traveled to Costa Rica on her own accord and had not been brainwashed. Bishop adds that Kayla's free to go whenever she wants to leave.
Yeah, I'm going back to Canada.
The first interview that I did with Kayla was days after she returned to Canada.
You are tuned to the Nighttime Podcast. Now, here is your host, Jordan Belmont.
How did you feel hearing that, people were looking for you?
When I first seen the news, I just thought it was just ridiculous.
Can you tell me about why you left?
We had a meeting and NatureBoy had decided that I should head back because of all the hype.
Kayla brought the attention, national attention to this group. People started really watching who this co-leader is and what ideology he's spreading.
So I really couldn't fathom at the time, like, how big it was. I just was like, oh shit, we ended up on the news.
It spread like wildfire.
To Costa Rica. They call themselves our nation. You people claiming to understand the truths in the world.
I'm co-leader on NatureBoy. What do you think of that?
People saying it's a cult.
I think that Canada's a cult, the US is a cult.
He's a blessing that we're free.
My inbox jam-packed with the one question: how do I join?
It was just further spreading his message deeper into social media and across multiple social media platforms. Somewhere along the way, that turned into a large group of followers who hung off his every wish and command.
When I speak to you, I speak with what I'm doing is beyond Martin Luther King. I love myself. No, some of y'all need to hit shit.
My mindset at that time was to go to Costa Rica and literally never come back.
Niggas gone.
Hey, that's how it was. That shit was crazy. When I first got to Costa Rica, it was really such an amazing experience. I'm in a new country. The air smells different. The fruit tastes better. I mean, going here to where NatureBoy is, that's where I'll find my truth. Big mistake though. I head up to this mountaintop where he was living. The trip was really cool. We were like driving up a mountain. The views were impeccable, like incredible. I think I was just super excited, ready to meet NatureBoy. It was like a big bro, like big hug, shook my hand, and it was a good feeling, like it was cool. Felt like I was meeting someone that I was meant to meet.
By the time I got to the group, there was 13 of us. For me, it was very exciting. Everyone was super friendly. It was a very warm welcome.
Day one, bags are checked. What you brought with you. And I think this is the first moment where I was kind of a bit alarmed because they were asking for me to give my debit card to the card holder for everyone's debit cards and finances. I was kind of like, whoa, is this good to do? Like, is this all right to hand my debit card?
Everybody puts money into the pot. We give everything that we have to our group.
He initially started out utilizing money from his barbershop business, which he had sold. He started to get donations as well from a lot of people that wanted to follow him. $300,000. That was the biggest lump sum he ever received.
If you truly go ahead, it's gonna cost you. And you're gonna need every fucking penny.
The financial support and people who legitimately go to Escalation willingly give their finances because they believe in what it is that he's saying. They believe in him. I was one of the people who came with roughly $3,000 left over from my college tuition, and I was like, here, you can have it. NatureBoy calls it putting in the pot, which means like we all pool resources to keep afloat.
We on one frequency, we one family, we put our chips together.
Any money that any member had access to, it was his. What he would tell them is that I provide for the group, but I'm going to keep a portion for myself too.
I was like, oh, we're a family. We all pitch in.
I'm still gonna eat. I'm still gonna be able to go on these adventures. So just go for it. And then a lot of weird stuff started happening in terms of purchases. We went to the mall one day, and for some reason we bought a ping pong table with my credit card, which was $800. I was like, I didn't need this. But I don't question it because we were all very scared to question things.
NatureBoy was somebody who wanted to start a movement, make it go worldwide, make it go viral, and just bring in people to control their money, to control their body, to control their mind, and to control their life in every aspect. That's what a cult is to me.
This is a very fucking careful move to Costa Rica.
There was definitely an aggressive side to him, very egotistical side to him, where he was the leader and no one could overpower that.
There are laws, demands, things that you must obey.
If you didn't do what he said to do, you were quickly humiliated. You were quickly devalued amongst the group. It became do what he tell you to do or else.
You will obey the rules of nature, or you will perish.
We decided to go on a drive to Limon. We were driving in the van and we reached this police stop that we had passed already, but this time we got stopped. NatureBoy starts a live video.
We were well over 6 months worth of passports not being stamped. NatureBoy encouraged all of us to not get the passports stamped because he didn't want to be a slave of the United States. He found that to be a way to be revolutionary and make a statement.
Our names don't mean nothing. That's not our names. Those are the corporations' names. They belong to a bank. We don't belong to a bank. We belong to the earth. I'm not getting off this bus, and we ain't getting off this bus. We've been moving as a unit. They try to make us separate, not separate.
When NatureBoy started to riot over the internet, this made the police angry because they didn't want to force us to do anything. They just wanted to understand why we weren't stamping our passports. NatureBoy encouraged all of the Melanation members to not get off the bus and fight for our rights.
He's basically telling us we're gonna die for the truth. And that just scared the shit out of me.
They can't fuck with us. I want you to know not to stand up and not be a slave. All of you.
If you can imagine just like a drug being in your heart, I just didn't know what's going to happen.
Alicia would always make it a point to live these moments, these events. He was doing so not only for the purpose of garnering sympathy from the public, but also, I believe, trying to attract new members as well.
Then this video was fun. I just went right under the bus seat. I think after that video went live, a lot of people, even from my own friend group and family, they seen it and they were very alarmed. And they were trying to contact me if I was okay. And I think just that whole video was the breaking point for me. Watching it back and seeing it was very horrifying, the ending of that video. And it's something that to this day I have a hard time watching because those screams at the end, they kind of haunted me.
Ellos al oponer resistencia,
By resisting complicated disciplines.
was there any kind of abuse or offense against him?
They beat us down. They beat us down.
He caused that. It happened for no reason. It happened because NatureBoy directed his followers to break the law. That's why they were bruised up. They had to be pulled from the van.
To the office, and they said, "You're free to go." And I was just like, "Okay, what the hell just happened? I'm allowed to leave?" I'm in a hostel in Costa Rica. Laying low for now. Letting things settle, but I'm no longer part of that. Whatever Mother Nature was, I no longer want anything to do with that. I think what changed for me was just being put in a situation where I really felt like I was going to die and be put in danger, which I felt so unnecessary because we didn't have to go through all that. We could have just got off the bus and dealt with what the cops wanted instead of creating a whole commotion. But I think that's what his intention was, so that it can get a bunch of views and people can find out who this guy was. NatureBoy is not who you think he is. A lot of your stuff is manipulation. It's spelled and he puts out that's so good and how is it? When I came back to regular life, I just wanted to shut it all off. I deleted all my social medias. I didn't want anything to do with NatureBoy.
En este momento, yo estaba metido su estado. At that time, their tourist visas and legal stay in the country had expired, so they were deported. They had just got kicked out of Costa Rica.
We are safe. We are okay.
He was saying how they were treated.
They treat us like slaves.
And what they were subjected to.
They scared of the black man. We're strong. We're tall. And we're black. Oh, they'll take our woman. They love our music. But the black man is motherfucking threat.
By now, I'm watching the lives like consistently. He would say like that we were in hell if we stayed in America.
If you're not able to sacrifice your life for this nation, then you will be hell forever.
And so I was ready to get out of hell. I packed one backpack and put like whatever clothes I could fit in there. I bought my ticket and I didn't tell anyone a thing. I blocked all my family members' numbers. And I just got on the flight.
Y'all better be glad they didn't kill me. Because my work is not over. I am the truth. I am God. I can't be killed. Hey, that's validation right there.
I was so good. I didn't even know. I didn't know what happened. That was good.
Hey, look. Hey, my family would find videos, right? And they hit me up. What are you a part of?
So that was the first episode. I had never seen this before, but there's a lot of things that happened that I
It wasn't wild like that to me.
that was a learning experience for me. I've heard those things from stories from other people, but that's a very interesting thing. I like that.
People view him favorably.
Everybody here met on social media. Everybody came together.
That people coming in everywhere. I'm thinking like, oh, this is the real movement.
We actually out here in nature to show the world where black people are.
They said we should stop fighting the system altogether and just leave.
It was beautiful scenes, beautiful pictures. I couldn't have had a better experience. But then there was this one day we got deported from Costa Rica.
Immigration, it was a prison. We chased out their BIs like animals. Shipped back to our so-called owners, the United States of America.
We didn't really know what's gonna happen. What next?
We're going back to the jungle. That's when. NatureBoy was trying to attract new members by playing victim. It was an advertisement to join the cult and to fight the establishment.
We at the border, keep the immigration in. Break no laws. I'm leaving. I'm going to the tribes. Where the fuck we gonna be?
What I saw on social media was like a lot of things about us fighting against the system. I was like, I need to do that. At the time, they were actually staying in Texas.
Hold on real quick. We are not staying in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm letting you know, not nation is leaving. You better leave too. You better dip.
I got a message from one of the members of the group who called me on video chat, and NatureBoy got in the frame of the camera, and he was like, "When are you coming out here?" "Yeah, we're about to leave out soon. We're headed to Belize. Are you coming? You coming? You gotta come now." So I just left so that I can.
And that's it. The music went crazy after that.
I think I blocked all my family members' numbers.
What? She said she blocked all
And
the
I just got on the flight to Texas.
family. She was big on that. She was big on that. It's not a game.
You heard? Look, let's pull it out. We got room too. 8-person set right here.
We were buying like solar panels and TVs and everything that we needed to live in Belize. And then we drove to Mexico to get to Belize.
I think I had the studio, the PlayStation, all night, and then they playing PlayStation.
And the only thing that's stopping you is you. And here we are, beautiful Belize. There's a good one. Here we are.
We're going to the rivers. You know, he's taking us to these beautiful places. This is what he was projected to the public. So this is what the public was looking at from the outside.
Come join me. We're living off bread.
I just felt like, okay, we're building something. We're building onto something. You know, but it really felt like utopia to me.
There was never a utopia. It was always shady from day one. It was just these stories didn't get out to the public until later. NatureBoy wanted complete control over what goes on in that group's surroundings, and he wanted control of the women.
I will never put a woman in a man's place. A man is for power, manpower, manpower. Women's job within that realm, other women's jobs would be to nurse and nurture the agenda of those rules.
In Belize, when we first got there, he told us you weren't allowed to be single as a woman. As a male, you could, but as a woman, you had to be with someone.
NatureBoy started controlling who gets to be with who, control over their movements, control over the finances, just control over every aspect of their life.
I remember NatureBoy saying, like, what is a boyfriend? What is a girlfriend? Like, we're not kids. We're not boys and girls. Like, if you're going to be with somebody, then that should be your wife or that should be your husband. So he told me, he's like, well, there's this guy that's into you, and I think, like, you guys should try it out.
Nigga, this is the first time we see Aaron.
It was weird. He was like, we have like this mini marriage ceremony.
Look, they walking like that.
And we got clapped and celebrated. And I never talked to him.
That's how they introduce Aaron to us.
Like, we never even had a conversation after that little ceremony. We went outside and we talked to each other for the first time.
NatureBoy was the one that made the decision on whether these men could establish relationships with these women, and he controlled every facet.
Oh, nigga, this shit is a refresher.
He was touting, you know, we want to build tribes here. I want my men to have multiple wives like me.
Yeah, that's why they like me. They trying to do me right there.
Marriage wasn't legal, you know, in the cult. It was just, if you say you're married, you are, and the next day if you say you're not, you're not. For the woman, it was all of, it was like you were basically in submission to that man 100%. Whatever he wanted you to do, you did it.
I was still a virgin. One of the guys that was with, because I wasn't having sex with him, he would just like jerk off in the middle of the night and ejaculate all over me. Because we were sleeping in tents. I woke up and like I had been like attacked by ants because I had that all over me.
Hey, Tron was wild, nigga. That's why Tron don't want to be told.
For the first time was one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had in my life. These reflections. I couldn't have had a better experience. It was a 9-month time span that Omek and I were together. First beginning of it, first 3 months were great. The reason why me and Omek did not last was because of the influence of NatureBoy.
There was a lot of manipulation that was going on amongst couples. Him trying to separate couples.
One day, me and Omek got into a huge argument. NatureBoy talked to me. It was, Omek doesn't love you. He doesn't want to be with you. You shouldn't be with him. You're smarter than him. You can do better. You should get out of this relationship now. So me and Omek finally ended our relationship. And I told NatureBoy I wanted to, do my own thing. But NatureBoy wasn't so he loved by me and loved by me and loved by me. Every time a conversation happened between NatureBoy and I, it was very enlightening. There was a huge thing about him being God and our higher self. So I'm thinking like maybe this is the next level up in a relationship. Maybe this is the person that I'm supposed to be with. So I choose. I'm like, yeah, I want to be with you. Cool. Like, let's see what happens. He immediately wanted to get me pregnant. He immediately made me queen of carbonation.
He didn't tell the whole story. He fucked her in the bathroom while she was still with old man. He was engineering the session with them. He was supposed to record a song. He fucked her in the bathroom. Take it from that night. I got the whole school engineer T.I. And the girl was engineering with T.I.
He busted every single person in this video to do it and to get it right. But he would have us standing out here in the sun for hours and hours. After it was all over, he scolded me so much because he felt like I didn't have enough confidence in the video and that should have sounded more sure. But this is not my energy. There was a lot of things that I didn't want to do as chiefess. And we were arguing in front of everybody. NatureBoy's definition wasn't the real definition of what a queen is or what a chiefess is. He was big on me creating a space for him to be intimate with all of these women, whether he was with them or not. He wanted me to be a brothel manager.
Use his hoe. The mistress. His bottom bitch. Mistress. His bottom bitch. And people that demands monogamy is against nature. And she's a devil and a demon.
NatureBoy used his relationship with Velvet. Me and Velvet were very close when I first met her. They invited me to their tent one night to watch a movie. Like I was laying next to Velvet and he was on the other side. And everything was pretty normal, and then all of a sudden, like, he shifted.
Remember that video of her and Velvet getting
wanted to have sex with me to break my virginity.
Put the video
and he wanted her to be there. basically hold my hand through it. She immediately was just like, no, like, I don't want to do that. And he told her, like, you're gonna do it. And he made her hold my hand through the whole thing.
The shadows go.
Every time having sex with NatureBoy was coercion. It was never like, yeah, I want to have sex with you. I never said stop or no, but it was very uncomfortable.
She was lying. She was with it.
I don't think that anybody ever could say no to NatureBoy. That's not a thing.
I seen the video. He posted it live. He was with that shit. That's a familiar waterfall. That everybody been studying.
I would describe what happened to me. It is like false advertisement. I thought I was going
Here was all in. Get the fuck out of here. You the false advertising.
I continued to watch video after video after video to the point where I decided that I
Wait, you wanted to be NatureBoy.
False advertisement be like the first week. You be like, oh,
Yeah.
my military experience definitely contributed to me going into the cult because of the need for brotherhood, the need to belong to some type of mission.
The day we were leaving, we actually picked up Aaron from the airport. And when I saw Aaron,
this is
I was
perfect
like,
timing.
that's
coming out.
that's who I'm supposed to be with.
Biography,
But I didn't know how to like say that because like I'm in a relationship. I'm like, how am I gonna explain that I don't really want to be with this guy? Like, I don't want to be your wife, but I want to be his wife.
I got there. I'm taking in the sights of being in the tropics for the first time, and we're just driving. And we ended up in Mexico. And that's when things started to escalate.
Peace reflections. Told you I'll take you on a tour of a new spot.
We were living in this house, just a lot of nature around us. We slept in tents, but we had this big house to cook in. We had a studio in there, which we recorded music.
Look at the love birds.
A couple days into us being there, Aaron said that he was attracted to me, and he was like, okay, basically you guys can be together. And we were together. And since that moment.
Peace and love, reflections. Welcome back. Day-to-day life in carbonation was content creation. NatureBoy encouraged me and everybody else to regurgitate, reiterate verbatimly what he was teaching us.
That the most honorable prophet, Eligio the Christ, teaches us.
Because the most honorable prophet, Eligio the Christ, teaches us that love is understanding.
Love is understanding.
Love is understanding.
Love is understanding. That's what the point
There's something about the human mind that it tends to absorb what it hears over and over and over and over and over again. So going online, astrology is the
Astrology is the mechanics of consciousness.
posting these things, saying these things, it makes your mind highly receptive to the teachings because it's all here.
Here, piece of reflection. Once you start saying all these things on social media, it's like, this is my identity now.
NatureBoy is just one of the latest installments of a figure who has shown its face for centuries.
Jim Jones's hypnotic home for his followers is more pervasive than originally thought. An individual's ability to control minds can result in the most unspeakable human catastrophe.
It's cult leader 101. Jim Jones, Charles Manson, David Byrd. So many cult leaders use the same strategy. I'm God, you should listen to me. I'm your salvation.
The members of the People's Temple led to the San Francisco area before they Johnstown.
Jim Jones led over 900 of his followers into the mass suicide.
Cults don't want you to think. They want you to quickly reach conclusions that are congruent with the cult agenda.
Carbonation is the group that tried to frame themselves off of, the Jim Joneses and the Charles Mansons, and just kind of reframed it through a lens of false spirituality and just to attract more young people with things that sounded really good.
NatureBoy's following grew. He hit corners all over the United States.
Jamaica, London.
20,000 views, 30,000 views.
100 to 200,000.
Just from everywhere. Australia, Canada. So he was influencing people from all over. They were going live on Instagram daily, sometimes for hours a day, hours a day. They were living their life publicly, showing their lifestyle. People viewed him favorably. But there were some darker elements at play there.
Anybody that got any common sense can feel that something's coming.
So I started my channel for the specific purpose of archiving and documenting everything.
What up?
I wanted to shine light on what was happening. This is a cult.
You cannot serve God's money. Quit your job. Give away everything that you own.
He had a huge following on Facebook, a big following on Instagram. And so there were a lot of content creators that were covering it.
You're a cult. Listen.
And then he would allow them to have a relationship, then he would snatch their girl from them.
NatureBoy is spreading propaganda and recruiting new members into a sex cult.
Some things and some people in your life, you got to let go of.
He is basically abusing the women, sexually abusing the women.
Once we got to Mexico, we started to open up about all of his sexual fantasies. He wanted me to have threesomes with him, which he would call polygamy.
So, you said what?
I would just explain to him.
Hey, this was the real thing.
When it comes to being in a polygamous relationship, in my understanding, I was going to help him choose who we were going to be with. But it never worked out that way. But I'm noticing a pattern that I actually deal with. I react to the videos with. I just don't like them. I don't. It doesn't make me happy. He knew I didn't like to do it. He would force me to give him head and then have the other women on his nipples. And that was, oh my God, that was like.
Eliana, kiss Aya. Eliana, kiss Aya. Let's see my angels, my butterflies. Look at these butterflies. They got turned over.
As a woman, being a wife of someone who took care of them, and ultimately you were in charge of basically reproducing that man, like having their children. So if your husband wants to have sex with you, you just have to go along with it. NatureBoy made a video saying that women really want to get raped.
One thing I know is women love, a lot of women like to be raped.
Their views on women were disturbing. You are serving. You are to do as I say, not as I do.
I'm your queen. Your mind is my mind. The day I decided to marry you is the day I felt committed.
You are to follow my lead. I am the boss. I am God. You worship me.
He needed to be elevated above the other guys there. He was saying all the women belong to him.
he would randomly call these meetings and he'd be like, yo, I'm getting this energy, I'm getting this sense that the universe wants me to sleep with all the women here.
It's not how he presented himself when I first joined him. He was just a master teacher, kind of like a professor, but it started escalating from that to now I'm the chief. Now I'm the Messiah. As I began to view him, a messenger for African American people, and one of the beginning had the internet, he would be on the internet. Malcolm X had the internet, he would be on the internet. This is the age of information. At the height of my brainwashing, I viewed him as the Messiah. One of the reasons I believe he was the Messiah was because of the biblical parallels he would use.
You won't bow to me. There will be no crucifixion of me this time. Different time.
He would say that the world hated Jesus and that look at how much hate he gets online.
Why do they hate me so much? They hate me because it has to be this way. It's already been written. I'm the way, the truth, and the light.
He would say that Jesus had to be brought up and raised amongst the trials and tribulations of people in order to understand and to be able to help them out of their circumstances. He said he was someone who had been through everything in the world for the sole purpose of being able to help other people get over those things.
NatureBoy would sit us down and he would talk to us for hours and hours about his childhood. A part of me believes that he struggles with liberating himself from his own traumas and then therefore inflicts them on other people.
1982, April 29th. My mom was in her 30s. It was a crackdown in Harlem, New York City. I was a crack baby. I was born a crack baby. My dad was 70-something years old. So I was born, and they died. She died of an overdose. My father died in his sleep.
His early life was spent along with his brother in foster care.
He used to tell a story about how his foster mother was abusive.
They would take Ajax and brush his skin with a scrub brush, and they would call him too black, and they would try to scrub his skin away.
She would always tell me because I was dark skinned that I was dirty. Like she used to put like Ajax all over me in the tub and make me scrub my skin.
He talks of being treated differently because of his skin tone, which I don't believe that. In the family, they have the same skin complexion as Eligio, and it's a black family. He was a troubled child. He was the type of kid that would start fights.
He said he was sexually abused. He said he had went to juvenile prison.
Start hanging in the streets, smoking cigarettes, just smoking weed, just doing all kind of mischief, hanging with the wrong kids.
He got into the streets.
He was sleeping in cars.
He said he was a male model and he was a male dancer.
He started off stripping for women and then men.
He said he worked in the adult entertainment industry. He said that he had been in, different relationships with women. Here's the thing. I don't know if any of this stuff actually happened. I'm just going off of what he told me.
He eventually met his son's baby mom, his second son, Aisha, had a relationship with her. He abused her so heavily one day that he was arrested. That is when Eligio decided to go on a spiritual journey. I believe Eligio took from those experiences as a kid and incorporated them into Learn how to manipulate people.
In the beginning, I don't feel like I seen red flags. It was literally perfect. When I got pregnant, that was like his ticket to abuse me.
They had her in the pool.
We were literally living around like fruit trees and everything was so nice. Music playing, just great vibes. And all of a sudden you just hear like screaming.
Some type of a laceration of bruise on her face that wasn't present the day before. And so it became commonplace.
So I would come down to the kitchen, she would have scratches or bruises, and I'd be like, "Are you okay?" And she would just be smiling like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Everything's fine." You know, like, I'm great.
My response to it was that this is none of my business. I'm believing that he's disciplining her and it's not abuse, and that this needs to be done in order to correct the masculine traits she learned from Mary. And she really needs to get herself together, and this would have to happen to her. That's what the belief system was at.
He started to like keep me away from the group more.
9 months pregnant, 36 weeks.
If I ever wanted to see my family, talk to them, friends, anything,
That's the
NatureBoy was telling me to get sick. He didn't want none of us to talk to our family. And if we did talk to our family, he wanted to be there so that he can guide the conversation. His goal was to keep me in the blind so that he can utilize me in whatever way that he wanted to.
They had her doing all this shit. Right for the building, like she did all this. $4,000, nigga.
When I got closer to closer to labor,
Hey, she did all this for a whole $1,000.
NatureBoy became emotionally distant.
All of this did it for $1,000. Crazy.
Going through labor, he goes live.
Yeah, I didn't believe what happened. She was just hurting me really bad. So we drove 2 hours to this hospital. We let them know we know that she didn't get professional attention.
Being right through the labor, this is before I got the epidural, he starts to tell me that he knows that I'm not weak. When I actually gave birth, he tries talking about it live on Instagram. The baby came out healthy, the baby was great. When I got back to the house that we were living in, he was so mean to me. My body was healing from pregnancy. He would call me weak and tell me that I need to get up and move around to the point where I was like falling deeper into postpartum depression.
don't want to make this shit complicated, man. That's why I'm doing this shit for years. You don't tell me this. You should be mad at your own self because we've been here before.
After the birth of his daughter, a lot changed. I think that he, he started to, need other things.
NatureBoy literally utilized that time after I gave birth to have sex with as many women as he could, to engage me into sexual activity as much as he could, baby present at all.
That's when everything just came to a head, and he started seeing her just dissenting on the live streams.
I have been in numerous occasions where I had to just bow down and perform sexual activity to be able to escape out of his presence, to get him to shut up, to get him away from me, to get him to stop hitting me, to get him to stop choking me, to get him to stop slamming me onto the ground. To get him to stop taking my child out of my arms when we are in argument to physically abuse me, even to get close to my child. I would conform to non-consensual sex so that I can have a bond with my child. It was that deep.
If NatureBoy says do something, you're just supposed to do it. Because he is God. That's why he was not a tribe. It was actually a cult. And the agenda was the cult leader and the need for absolute rule, absolute domination, absolute power. We must have order.
I am your leader. I am the chief commander of God's children.
So the hierarchy works like this. You have NatureBoy at the top, parallel to him would be the queen. Underneath that, you have in the guys, the men, 18, the most trustworthy, responsible, loyal, capable. We did our finances, we did our transportation. Underneath that, B team. The B team couldn't come and talk directly to the co-leader, but they had to go through us.
The women kind of fall into that with who they're married to.
So, just like with any other cult, your ultimate relationship becomes with the leader.
And Ezekiel wasn't afraid to do that. He wasn't afraid to take that little bit of power and reverence that these young people have for him and take it to the very extreme. And we saw this lots of different times.
Come on in, bro.
That's Blink. I remember them rocks. That's
What we were doing, it became more and more ridiculous.
I remember where the fuck was y'all at? That's right before Pure left. With the camera and everything.
When we walked into a room, we had to stand up and put our hands behind our back, and he was somebody standing at attention. If he didn't do that, he would make us do push-ups or squats. Sleep was so controlled. He would keep us up for hours and hours and hours at night. And if we were nodding off, we would have to go sleep in the corner for 3 hours as a punishment.
So that's a point where you didn't have a choice. If you didn't do what he said to do, you were quickly demoted, you were quickly humiliated, you were quickly devalued amongst the group.
Where we were staying, we couldn't go outside the car unless we were a part of the go-out team. And if you would try to go outside those boundaries, you would get in trouble for that.
You being contacted. Speak up. God damn it. Something happened when you got that shit from that police.
Hey, remember when I was telling y'all we had that breakdown in the meeting? And the first night I was there.
Way that he implemented structure was physically. NatureBoy always needs first.
We was drinking that night. We was drunk as
We
fuck.
could never accept our food before him or our drinks, and we couldn't eat before he took a bite. The whole group would eat rice and beans majority of the time. He would get red snapper, shrimp, sometimes lobster. He got the price. Sometimes he would even go to restaurants and go for that. He would be at home.
When I came when you was when everybody she had his favorite was he'll get the leftovers.
And the cult leaders, they're the rich.
I learned that from him.
Because they don't care about the truth. They care about how they're perceived. And
They be like 4 burgers.
to see them deliberately lie just to keep an image going is sad.
A lot of the women, I believe, were with him because of the perks. You got to travel more, go more places, and you got to eat better food. We was facing sleep deprivation. We were facing malnutrition at some point. He treated all of us like servants. We were at his foot and head that we called to do whatever it is that he wanted us to do.
I make the rules, I call the shots, and if people want to follow me, they can. And I think once he realized that he did have that type of power over people, that was the point at which he didn't care to keep up appearances anymore.
It's funny.
And with that came, look what I can do. Look what I can say to these folks. They're going to do what I tell them to do.
He had this total control because we never looked at him as the enemy.
Stinking ass off me, huh? On your fucking face, all y'all.
So once that was successful, we had a couple of steps. Look what I can make the men do.
There was never a consistent time of just depression, sadness, or euphoria or happiness. It was a constant up and down, up and down. Because what that does is it creates confusion and doubt in the people there, which opens them up to be able to be controlled and manipulated.
He wanted me to submit to him. He wanted to break my spirit.
It was like a slow cracking until it just shattered. He stopped caring. He felt that he was getting away with so much for so long. Why not just show you guys the real me? Why not display who I really am?
This is pretty crazy. So we was just talking about it. It's interesting. We're going through a lot of the drama and certain people's events.
When did the indoctrination process become complete?
This isn't what comprehension completely was. This is just a sum of that, bro.
They just skipped a whole lot of shit from second
They
to
cut
third. From the first to the second episode, there was a lot of shit cut out.
Bro. and then everybody's not telling the complete truth. There's other sides to what they're saying still.
Oh, this is live? This is live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that my LKP Buki? They left out so much in this documentary. It was interesting, bro. Yeah. So that. Yeah, what's up, y'all?
Oh, you know?
I've been for the fuck up. Oh, what's up, Tasty? Yeah. Yeah.
On what? You ain't got blocked yet?
Nope, I did it a certain way. You gotta do something else. Alright, son. Y'all come follow me on the Official King Pain channel. We'll be live on the Official King Pain channel after this live reaction with Shaka and Soular. King Pain. I'm gonna share the link in on my socials as well, so you guys will get it. All right, we taking this intermission. Hey, y'all, go grab your snacks. Go get something. Go use the bathroom. Don't forget about your girl. Go touch your girl. You know, make sure that you got some hydration. Now tuck this girl good for whatever it is. Go do something. I'll be right back. It's the bathroom.
Listen, I went through a whole bottle by myself.
Y'all see the hard work?
Listen, I went through a whole bottle of champagne, watched that shit. A lot of lies. And there's a lot of truth too. It was good. I like where they going so far. We about to be on what, episode 3? Is episode 3 we on? Okay, bet. Episode 3 we on. What happened?
Yeah, I'm gonna use the bathroom. We got that popcorn that I got saved right there.
You got popcorn.
Yeah, I got the popcorn. I saved it for last.
We be having movie nights.
Popcorn gonna help us next to happen.
It's a corner, man. I got it. Need you some water. Popcorn water.
Y'all got enough energy for this interview.
That's the only way I'm drinking. I ain't gonna lie to you. Right here, okay. Yes, sir. It's your boy, Lord. Good. Take it to them. You want me to take it to them? All right. No, hell no. No, they just had all that. They had that whole box of graham crackers. You know. You didn't get 5 packs of all that. Fuck him and his tax. He didn't give no snacks to him. I'm going to have
And no bags. Are you still live?
Say some what?
Oh, that's hilarious. That's awesome. That's funny.
Oh, yeah, you did that fast, sir. Hey, I fucking used it for all of this shit. This whole Zulu Jungle Bowl is all AI. The whole shit. I took my time with it, but I definitely did it.
I wanted you guys to see that. That's actually what I wanted y'all to see.
Yeah, the niggas, I'm glad that y'all use it. Because a lot of people are scared to use AI. You know what I'm saying? And like, like nigga, I started incorporating my music and everything. Like, I created the theme song, all this shit. I got this shit going. And then I go and make it's I think that's what I said 2 things. I got the stickers done, nigga.
That's the whole YouTube thing.
I got the whole shit done, nigga. Just like
food burn in a week.
I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna order stickers because I did this shit in Mexico already. I was like, how the fuck am I make money out here? Because I catered to the black people that was coming in from the United States. And nigga, I bust their head. I get $700, $800 tip. Tonight.
It's in the
No, I'm ordering. I just didn't have. That's yeah. I got the system here too. So it's not set up in it's set up in my garage, and then they set it up here too. So right now, I check the kids though, because in Victorville, it's like 19 chemicals in the water. I had them come out here and test the shit, and I had them check. That's like one thing. Because like one thing about it is, nigga, I don't understand the pH levels and shit. And when you start understanding you're like acidic and non-acidic, you start to, so I paid attention. First, that was one of the first things I did.
Oh, that's fire.
I gotta get the water.
That's great. You know what I'm saying? Water is something.
Good to just shower. Not shower. Everything. Because that right there filters the whole house. And then this right here filters the whole house. Every house needs that. What? Okay. Nigga, especially when you like test the water, nigga, and you really get to see you understand pH levels. Because I had to test my own pH levels throughout my process of actually keeping my shit alkaline. Aqua, water. Everybody on water. That's all the good stuff. I just ran through that bottle. I ain't even offered it. I ran through that whole bottle. Oh, you made me a cup? You got some liquor?
No, it's a cup size.
You got some liquor?
The cup size are leaders.
You got some liquor?
That was good stuff, right?
When I get married, I'm gonna take pictures like some.
All right, y'all. We don't want to take too long. Let's see. Okay, you still the same amount of people. All right, everybody come back from intermission. We'll make your way back this season.
What we on? We on the last 2 episodes?
This whole time.
We got 2 more episodes.
Take a quick intermission.
2 more episodes. Let's go.
That second one
8
was kind of
more
short.
minutes.
I don't think they brought all of them long. Like the second one wasn't that long. I was like, oh, it's about
They're
right.
like 40, 41, 42. But that's including, credits and shit.
Y'all remember this stuff? That's the key.
I don't remember it.
Well, he said, I lived through it.
I got it.
So I should name the damn video Surviving Fucking NatureBoy.
That's really what this is even like. It's not a combination, it's surviving nature.
Which one? C or regular?
Let me double check.
Wait, what kind of iPhone?
He said regular, the old one.
Yeah, my shit charged so quick.
OG iPhone.
Mine's on the charger. Shout out to the C. This thing for
I got the old iPhone charger.
Orange.
Huh? Yeah, I have one, but he should have one. Do you have one or no?
I'm missing.
Okay.
I think I only have one. I've been missing the other one for a minute. You said that's you.
That's a whole different seed. Whatever you get through. No, just a crunch.
Man, y'all got y'all study some.
This is a special disease.
Disease what?
You don't play with this controller.
Brother, don't pick it up. It should look exclusive.
And then this one but this is my game. This is what I would do it right here.
This is some crazy shit.
This is what I do for school. I'm really early and everything with that.
What?
Now we're doing some types of drawings and stuff like that. I do animations, yeah. Like video game worlds, 3D, all that. We've been working on a cartoon when we just started.
Yeah, I can do that. I can for them do character models. So with
My sister want to make a cartoon.
Can you know any friends?
I can do anything. I can do anything. I can turn it into 2D image, into 3D image. I can make it myself. I can make it move. Right now, I just finished making it. So now I make the skeleton. I'm just doing anatomy right now.
How long have you been doing it?
Yeah.
Shout out to you, bro. That's
I still got a 3.8 all the time too.
Man, that's hard, bro.
It's a fast forward I do.
Man, shit, man. I'm gonna check you out. You have to.
This shit's crazy. I want to let me see like some little video I can show you in the world. I can open the world, bro.
You need your help. You need to visualize this, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm also a ghost writer. Yeah, and birdies.
Here you go.
Oh.
Brand new one, never even
So that's my specialization. But this is one of the songs I made on this I really like is
ready to press.
Oh, this the fight on the beach?
No, man, it's just the opening credits.
Oh, I'm about to say that. That shit, wow, that shit never happened right there. That beach scene never happened. Try to get the plug over there though. Try one of those other plugs, bro. It's by that plug.
I mean, cool. It's from nothing, from the empty space. I created this whole thing. You know, I was thinking like a dungeon, my theme was to have a dungeon with sword and talents. Then you know, like,
Yeah, 9 pockets on this one. But they can't everybody alive. Okay. They got a lot to fight about. It's right about there.
I didn't put the lights in there very well. As you can see, the plants in the I get it on everything. It felt like a real place. Yeah. Plants, they move in such a beautiful way. So a little bit more darker thing, but this is my first one. Put the lights in on it. Yeah, I mean, I can make any world you want from scratch. Then you want a bubble world. Most of my services are more on the spiritual side. So this is just cool.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready? I'm just checking in, you know?
We got 2 more episodes.
You know?
Hey, the other, it's a whole nother, I don't know if you ever heard of the hood horns. Keep back. Have you ever heard of hood horns?
No, what about
It's another nigga that I partnered up with. We did 50 episodes on this shit.
50 episodes?
It's 50 episodes on YouTube. It's called Hood Horns.
The sword, I have the sword.
And it was before this shit happened. Nigga, it goes deeper than this shit. It go way deeper than this shit, bro.
I was learning how to do the camera.
He got a sister in it. He got everybody.
Because I don't do the camera, but that's if you're making a 3D film. That's how they make 3D movies. That's crazy. This is but so you can actually put a character here and play like a level. It's a 3D world. And but that's what you do for a music video. You create a 3D world and you play videos in there and watch 3D shit happening in that world.
We just started using that for my music videos.
It's simple. It's fun. Hey, this business world is good.
It became this God's army, and everybody else needed to come and join. These women and people that come to me, they believe me, I'm God, Lord, I am God.
You're walking into his world now.
These are my motherfucking worshipers. They sit around and look at me all day.
All right, cool, we're back.
NatureBoy has complete control over every aspect of their life. The brains will just scramble.
I'd be like, hey,
I'm your God. Give me your lead.
Things were starting to heat up considerably. He was going out. He was going crazy.
You tempt me and you fuck with me. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
I was like, to be honest, I absolutely hated that.
I'm like, what in the world is going on here?
I'm from San Diego, California. Baltimore is essentially living in the hood. It's just like right gang activity. Not the city where you're sitting now, but the feeling is at any time bullets can come through a wall. It's like living in a war zone. And I felt super claustrophobic. I just eventually realized, like, I gotta get out of here. One more hour, one more minute in the States, and that was it. I came across Aligio's videos when I was at age 23.
You don't realize you're in a prison. You in captivity. But the only person that's holding you there is you. So you are enslaving your own self.
I was like, whoa, he's saying a lot of the stuff I agree with. I felt like they were talking to me. All I heard was, I'm that guy. They did this intro where Amelia was sitting at the top of the staircase. The velvet comes out, and she's like the queen.
Who am I? Queen of the honor, commander in chief of the earthquake.
It's like the king and the queen, and all the guys are lined up on the side. They're all following suit. They're like extras to the movie.
I wouldn't even hold the camera. That's AI. That's not even me.
If it wasn't for them, the scene wouldn't be as powerful as it was. I'm thinking I'm going there for the rest of my life. I'm about to go join the army of God. I didn't even really happen. It felt like I just jumped into my team. Then NatureBoy first introduced himself. It was the commander-in-chief of Carbonation. I was like, this is like a military. I don't look at these people like God's army, like angels. But just such a short amount of time, it became so clear to me. This is just for show.
2 days. I said, y'all 2 years? No, I said,
I never felt comfortable being chieftains. I never liked the power that came with it.
Hey, she did though. That's one thing she never cared about. She didn't want to be the chief.
You're not embodying the energy of a goddess.
She just wanted to get fucked over.
It has to be in you. You're in a position of power.
It was NatureBoy, and then it was me, and then whoever else came after. NatureBoy would get mad at me about how I need to sit in my throne and how I need to flip my crown and how I need to be the bad bitch that NatureBoy wanted me to be.
2 years, Ariana. 2 years. I've been invoking the spirit to come out of you. The bad bitch come out. That's not it. I've been invoking the spirit to come out.
You wanted me to be mean to women, turn them down and be rude to them and make them feel like they're less than me because that's what queens do. Queens shit on people. I had a very lonely feeling in the inside of me because my relationships with the other wives were minimal to none. So it started to become a situation where I would denounce myself as queen and try to pass on that title to someone else. But then it got worse and worse.
NatureBoy continued to hit Velvet a lot. It became commonplace, like hearing your neighbors argue next door, and it kind of like just becomes a part of your atmosphere.
I'm trying to understand what I'm saying here. Have incidents on camera. It's weird, the weird dichotomy. She's the queen sometimes, but then other times I'm gonna beat her like she stole something from me.
We took it as a form of justified retaliation. She was challenging her husband, and she was getting made a public example of what happens when you do that. In my mind, I'm thinking she deserved that. So the trust dynamic was not within each other, but rather to and from the co-leader only.
He wanted to break me in front of everybody so that he could win respect.
Nothing was off limits. These moments were always heavily watched by a ton of people. The audience at some point grew contempt for him and what he was doing.
Oh my God. You don't have to bring her down like that. A real man, a real leader can make his point without putting his hands on a woman.
We're watching Nana, and I think Nana wants to feel safe and protected. And I don't think she's feeling that in general right now.
So the audience started contacting the authorities once the abuse started coming to light more. Embassy got a ton of calls. They were investigated by the police in Mexico. And they ended up being kicked out of the Airbnb. They ended up leaving. They turned up in a number of different countries in no particular order: Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Panama, and they were deported from nearly each and every one of them. After that, they moved to Atlanta. They were in the downward spiral. That's you're just waiting and wondering what's going to happen next.
That's what they don't want niggas to understand. We made the world.
My name is Janae Alexandra Newell. I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Before joining Recruitment, I did have my own journey. I went to Thailand, Malaysia, Ecuador, just exploring.
They would preach, go out and into nature and, to get in tune with the planet. Meditating in the middle of nature. That was my place of peace. Carbonation taught this, I embodied it. And that's what made me more drawn to them. I saw a video of them online that they were kicked out of some country and it was really, really bad. But I thought people were just looking at them like weird, because they didn't know that. I was a cashier at this the raw vegan space. It's like a beautiful candle bar. When I was working, they just showed up at my job. He was like, "What? This is cool. This is amazing." That's the guy that I've been following every day, and literally it changed my life.
We see that shit every day. They bring us big ass burritos to Cecilia. Oh, real, bro. And then we had Star with us. We had Star on Raw Vegan Diet. Punani was that was my favorite one. The spicy tuna. Spicy tuna cure.
So let's go to carbonation. When I got there, it was about like 25 people in one house. We weren't in nature, of course, so there was no tent living. Eligio just selling a dream, a hype dream, claiming to love nature so much, but not really because you're living in Airbnbs. That's what the false sense of reality comes in, like we thinking it's a utopia and stuff.
What the fuck?
I had a pounding ringing or something telling me, like screaming at me no. But I ignored it. I think it was maybe 2 to 3 months after joining, you start to see his dark side. The darkness was always there. NatureBoy had just bottled it up.
I'm your pet. I'm your God. Feeling your needs, bitch. That's how I feel about you.
NatureBoy started to think that why not just show you guys the real me? Why not display who I really am to you?
You know what I'm saying? That's how I actually feel about you.
Oh, that's the girl.
The main wives would get him ready every day. He needed someone to comb his hair. He needed someone to bathe him. He needed someone to brush his teeth. We were rubbing his feet. We were massaging his body. I mean, he would make us massage him for hours, saying but that was all under his control and his influence. We never looked at him as somebody that had malice or had ill intentions towards any of us. There was nothing that he could say or do to make me look at him differently, like he didn't have our best interest in mind. We looked at him like he was the answer. He really legitimately thinks that he's God because of the fact that he, in his mind, have created a reality of people who would get on their knees and kiss his feet. He made us get his name tattooed on our butts. He branded the women he liked very much. It's like, my toy, mine, not yours.
They wanted to do that shit. I remember she got that shit taken off.
NatureBoy, he wanted to be with all of them. And the women in carbonation desired to be their best version of themselves. As a woman in carbonation, that was for me. I just wanted to just do my purpose. There were moments that didn't feel like a utopia to me. And NatureBoy is badgering in your mind every day that you're supposed to be with him.
I think you, my guy. Sit in the chair.
He told me, you keep forgetting. I'm like, what? Forgetting what? And he said that you're in love with me.
So you want to see the ass on that baby?
You plan to see him as a master, and then feelings develop for your master. just like a mind manipulation, mind trick to make you fall for him in some type of way.
God damn, and this is supposed to be fun.
It's scary thinking that I was in a home with a madman. Literally, he was going mad, going crazy.
Started promoting that the men start looking for a transgender wife because Eligio has to reproduce with the female wives. And then Eligio have all the actual women.
I was like, take me out of it. I absolutely hated that.
And so that's two different houses. He was in the house with the women.
He did that so he can have sex with all of us without the men knowing.
Everybody competed to have sex with.
And that's not how it initially started. That was not what was promoted.
I thought what I was part of was something really true. Like, I thought it was the truth. In fact, I'm a victim of brainwashing.
The majority of the guys don't know what's going on to any degree. She's played with the men's egos and their masculinity to her. Some of the guys, I'm not gonna put two names out there, they would do anything for a ego. All the men are happy to be it's not the people because you need that dedicated to where you do that. And I'm sorry to tell y'all, the truth is, most all the men said yes.
Looking back, when did the indoctrination process become complete to the point where him tell you what to do is God telling you what to do? It stopped being about the group and it started being about this one person and what he thought about it.
We wanted to trust him in everything he did. He was chief, he was king, he was God.
I am God. They know I'm God. I am God. I am God.
He's telling you that it's hell. Outside is hell. And if you leave, you're going against your mission, you're going against your purpose, and you're going straight to hell.
Everybody condemned your ass on the internet. 30 niggas on the internet condemned her ass.
NatureBoy has complete control over every aspect of their life.
Get back over here.
The brains were just scrambled. They just used to being told what to do, told what to think, and it just didn't make any sense anymore. You know what is? I promise you, Mr. Seven on Earth. He was the whole thing. He is his world. So you're looking into his world now.
But if you tell me and you follow me, y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
They were starting to consider
Disrespect God.
That's when you was supposed to be. That's when the thing that is.
The way he came in Vegas, like when he was in Vegas, that's when
he had taken all the women from their relationships. He just said, you're not. You being with NatureBoy is connected to your higher self. And because he is your higher self, you're expected to want to be with him. I mean, you're just expected to give him sex or care. So it was very confusing because I knew I didn't want to be with him, but then I started to develop feelings for him. And that was the worst. But yeah, sorry. And COVID struck.
Emergency in the past 24 hours. There have been 18,000 new cases reported in the United States and more than 700 new deaths.
Everybody was indoors and scared to go out.
Oh, this is COVID.
If you're in combination, you have to raise above them. So we decided to move to Hawaii.
They skipped everything. They skip a lot of shit. They skip everything. Go to LA. They go to Hawaii. I want to get to the 4th of July.
In the family, being in Hawaii was a breath of fresh air. It was just grand, like it was so beautiful. The green of the grass was just amazing.
Never touched the fucking turtle.
The skies are beautiful. Everything was beautiful.
Turtles are sacred.
This is not something that Eligio could have ever done without begging people for donations. People are giving you large amounts of money so that you can live that lifestyle. But when you come to Hawaii, you're supposed to quarantine for 14 days. We did not abide by that rule whatsoever. They were publicly and proudly not.
NatureBoy wanted to live by his rules. I wanted to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. You know.
But the natives of Hawaii were not happy. So they arrested us for breaking quarantine. We would always capitalize off of these situations by live streaming the entire event. From the audience perspective, it was shocking.
Being detained, accusations about me doing stuff that's not true. This is what public life. It's unfortunate that it has to do this way.
He would utilize each arrest as a propaganda talking point to join the code and to fight the establishment.
I'm going outside.
He's being persecuted because he is the Jesus for the African American people.
I'm still wondering, like, this whole shit, like, I get life from this.
There we go. Coming out.
He would manipulate these instances to beg for donations to help him bail out of jail or get the group to the next location. To be honest with you, it's definitely an adrenaline rush when you're seeing this all happen.
A self-professed cult leader who has planned to settle down in Hawaii with his followers is heading back to the mainland along with 20 others from his group. It's Hawaii's largest single case of quarantine violators. Today, their leader agreed to a plea deal.
He eventually had to make a choice, and the choice was to leave, and that's how the charges in that instance against all the other members were dropped because he took the charges and everybody. It's like, here we go again, on and on to the next episode.
It became, you do what he tell you to do, you're going to heaven. If you don't, you're going to hell. That's what it came down to. I'm your salvation. I'm the one who's going to lead you to heaven. It's cult leader.
That story was signed to us. Everybody else was signed to us. Y'all were the only ones that was signed to us.
Moving from place to place to escape scrutiny.
Y'all were the only ones that didn't sign the contract for the
It
whole
was
story.
hard to keep up with.
Everybody that's in the studio.
Came back to the West Coast for a
You
while.
do it that way for today. You need to do that. We Cali, nigga. It's like in the car.
One of the most abusive episodes that they encountered involving Velvet and Eligio.
4th of July. Oh, that's what it gotta be. It's switched to California all that 4th of July. This is.
He told me that we were going to work and we were going to be monogamous for the sake of our child. But he continued to fight without my consent from our initial agreement. I closed off and got cold with him. He did not like that. So that particular night, July 4th of 2020, he ordered some of the women to take Eliana out of her arms. He made a combination, formed a circle around me,
so that he could proceed to physically abuse me. I was punched in the face, in the stomach, in the back, in the arms, in the legs.
And repeatedly hitting her.
You know what I was thinking? Why is she being disobedient?
I'm thinking like she must be something very disrespectful. She's such a good guy. You kill her.
I don't think she's trying to fight back because one, this dude is 6'2", 200-something pounds, and she's circled by a number of people who she knows doesn't have her best interest in mind, but rather are looking out for themselves and could potentially even be afraid that they could find themselves in this circle.
It was so bad to the point where I had fallen in a position. He proceeded to order the women to draw a bath for me so that I could recover. I had severe headache. I had bruises in the back of my head, front of my head, my temples, my lip was buzzed. The women all didn't say anything. They didn't say anything. They would say, like, you know, women who carry themselves like queens don't get disrespected.
The queen rearranged her organs from the inside out. Being queen and being abused more than any of the other women.
He had made himself this god over and over and bigger and badder in his mind. He started to feel like nobody can do anything to him, and so that just made him more open.
I'm a dominant male, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna choke you. I'm gonna spit on you. Even if you're not white, that's where I go.
At first, it was just him in his relationship with Velvet being violent. Stuff like that was happening because I was obedient and I was submissive. Next thing you know, it was us being violent at each other.
This is almost like how the team would have put it out. What presented the physical abuse was that as a man, you don't let nobody disrespect you under no circumstance. Women needed to be put back into their place in that environment, in the atmosphere. Beating women was okay. It was approved. It was actually encouraged. That's because you did it, nigga. She asked my face.
NatureBoy everybody did that shit. They've been so programmed to submit to white men more so than black men. We have to reinforce our authority. So as black men, we need to show them that we are their leader. We are their husband, their father, everything.
I really felt like this person was some type of spiritual guide. In order to believe he was the Messiah, I had to believe what he was saying. So at the height of my indoctrination, I was in full support of all the teachers.
There you go. Tell the truth, nigga.
Aaron was physically violent towards me a few times.
Remember Soular, we got to that argument about the
I may have agreed with that doctrine at the time. I don't.
The audience was literally disgusted, disturbed, and I saw what they were saying.
It's unfortunate because a lot of the women who are over there are very beautiful girls, but very weak-minded.
Alicia, you're going down very fast. More and more people are shit. So you need to correct this shit or you're going the fuck down. So the vibe I'm getting though is that you just don't like to be questioned.
The t-shirt, her shit down. I put her on.
The incarnation was a really bad place. There was so much dark energy surrounding the cold. We needed to take the pressure off to say that things aren't as they appear to be.
They all got big contracts. They all got the paper. The T took the paper.
When Brandon, we just got up one day, he was like,
let's go find a chapel and all this. I'm gonna get married to her. You don't get married to her. You know what I'm saying? He was like, we just gonna get married.
This is Vegas.
When it's on papers and all this and all that, they married each couple, one couple at a time.
He made the cult members marry each other to protect himself.
Yeah, no, why?
You know, hey, if something happens, you're my wife. You can't testify.
When I see nothing, before this happened.
We've been married as far as the documentation is concerned. August the 11th, 2020.
Remember, he beat up Sheba in the parking lot. And
The cult leader, whatever he said, became law.
After that, they all took off to Mexico.
Remember, we did all the beach trips, and now they skip all the Vegas.
He reached about 100 to 200,000 people. He started to feel untouchable.
That's where the money was big. We gotta do our own shit.
He looks like we're really rich and wealthy when we're not. It's just everything goes towards him, and most of the stuff is fake food and fake props. You know, I think the situation is way worse than what people ever think it is.
He still had a large group that he had to feed. The control and manipulation changed. Anything that he could do to maybe get a few more donations, he was willing to do that.
Bigo Live is a platform that people go live on. They live stream, and the people who watch them send them gifts every month, and those gifts actually translate into real money that you can withdraw real time. Man, during my time, pretty sure it's more than 200,000.
Look at that. Easy.
Those were the financial methods that were used to keep the cult financially afloat.
We don't have to work for money because we're begging people online to donate money to us. It was just a circular scam.
That shit wasn't no scam.
It didn't show for people. He would be on Bigo or on Instagram or whatever, and he was like, let me show y'all something. Talking to the audience, like, let me show y'all how I got these people worshiping me.
These are my motherfucking worshipers, and that's what the fuck they do. They sit around and look at me all day and all.
So eventually get to the point to where we went a little extra crazier.
Legio wasn't afraid to take that little bit of power and reverence that these are.
Yeah. The same people in there. It's been the same exact people in there the entire time.
That's good. 25 people.
People have for him and take it to the very extreme.
We started these things called real moments. I feel like they're just not publicly exploiting us, you know, and humiliating us.
It's about me, bro. My motherfucking legs and suck on my toes. Bitch, fuck you. Take my feet off.
I'm like, what in the world is going on here? This is not everybody had to do things they didn't want to do, because if you didn't do what he said to do, anyone in these people will start beating you up. There is no trust amongst cultures. It got to a point where you no longer trust yourself.
Listen, dog. With your glass shooter over there.
This is a surpriseful thing for them as well, because they've come this far and now they find themselves kneeling at this man's feet.
Who's your God? You're my God.
Who's that thing?
And being that God is what makes this make sense. And they're willing to go down that path, even though their eyes tell a different story.
At this point, every day I'm debating, like, when should I leave? But it's like, how can I go back and face everybody? How'd I tell everybody I was wrong? How do I go back to being me ever again?
What I had to accept is that there is no going back to who I was, because I would have to actually control all, delete this experience, which is impossible.
Hey, that nigga never does that. Hey, last time we said niggas working at Walmart. You see them too? I see you right into it. Call me like, hey, she ran into a Walmart.
This is a tribe. This is a family. This is a
You have to keep somebody that genuinely wanted the best for themselves and other people.
Small cap. She runs into this nigga at the
We're
Walmart.
here to inspire you to do
Call
better.
me. We on video
You
chat.
know, like
Can I
he
get
was
his number?
16, it's so peaceful and calm. And to see who he became is like night and day. It's two different people.
We are living out here for you.
Next day, you can't stop me. I'm the avatar. I'm the truth. I don't want no argument.
Over the years, a lot changed. His ideology changed. And he was always testing the boundaries, testing the limits to see what he could get away with.
I'm coming to wrap my motherfucking dick around your motherfucking neck.
He had to up the stakes. Almost like it is a reality TV show.
And you're gonna want to suck my dick. I promise you, all these bitches gonna suck my dick.
If you're willing to do that, that's what you're willing to do.
You talk to all those girls like that, y'all. Everyone, shut up, bitch. You suck my dick every night.
One day, there was a situation with me and this one girl, NatureBoy and Benoit. NatureBoy pulled her to the side, saying that she should fight me, saying that she needs to show the world that she's queen.
It's so far ahead.
And then he pulled me to the side and was like, y'all gonna fight anyway, because you know, y'all need to squash it. It really didn't feel right, but he put us on the beach and he created the scene. He realized we fought.
It's the real fight. Leo's with her, and I'm like, hey, bro, look at this shit. We in a score. I'm in the team. Like, hey, go.
I don't feel like they have been joining this group to be abused. And at this point, when abuse is normalized for them, they don't see what the public sees. The darkest form of entertainment was humiliating your own people for a view, for a donation, for $1.
And when she bit with Leah titty, that motherfucker stretched like Laffy Taffy.
They wear his play toys and force young men to entertain the people who watch and laugh at us. It's just like being a monkey, a circus monkey.
Movie was video chatting me the whole time.
Like, I didn't have a life. I didn't have my own life. I didn't have my life. I didn't have my. Who was I?
That's the cat right there. That's the cat. And she went back like 6 times.
I was so over it. I was so done. I gave up college. I gave up money. I gave up my room. I gave up my mind to be a part of carbonation. I thought that carbonation was going to be the family that I've always wanted. Living with God, this NatureBoy God, was like living in hell. I knew that this was the end. I absolutely needed to leave. I decided that I was going to get everybody drunk and high. I made drinks for everybody.
This was in Vegas. Or this is when all the girls got separated. I don't know, bro.
Everybody was so inebriated.
This happened a few times. This wasn't the first time.
Everybody was asleep.
Oh, this is when she stuck out of Puerto Rico.
I woke up to
my harness, put it on, put my child on it. I kept walking.
It's the rap, it's the Mexican rap.
Proceeded across the gate.
They made this shit sound like an escape story of the world. Puerto Rico, that's how it was.
And I never looked back.
I thought it was in Mexico. That might have been Panama. I thought that was Mexico.
I never saw NatureBoy ever again.
God's wrath after you. You got God's wrath after you. You got God's wrath after you. I should have got a sworn at it. They went back. They went back. Keep going. They went back. His eyes. Of course not.
The last episode?
What I thought I was getting into at the very beginning was a group of African American people who were no longer interested in the desires of the traditional world.
Look at how beautiful your people is.
We cared not for monetary gain. We didn't care about houses or flashy cars or shoes, clothes, those types of wealth. We weren't going to protest. This is a coaching movement. We weren't going to invoke physical violence on anybody.
Build your tribe off grid. We think we can, right?
We wasn't even going to take the judicial approach. We were going to start our own from scratch, like people have done before. That was not the case. Fuck this world.
Major owners armies to every member. If he denounced me, he condemns me to murder. And if he can make you believe that, then he has conquered your soul. I came to the walk around the neighborhood like my aspiration. I came to leave the house.
A lot of abuse happened. I would hear a lot of screams.
Here comes the police. Helicopter, SWAT team in the back.
Puerto Rico. 2020. That shit went way the fuck back. 2020 when it started.
I don't believe cult leader is something that you pick up from a manual. I think that cult leader has to be accompanied by some type of mental disorder, and your only agenda, the only thing you can process in your mind is yourself. What made it start escalating was that Velvet left.
Bitch! Hey, that nigga was crazy.
Seeing that the dynamics of the cult changed.
I miss my fucking daughter so fucking much. I'm hurting.
I proceeded to get protection orders to keep me and my children safe from him. I'm not entirely sure where he is now, but the reason for traveling was to stay outside of the United States jurisdiction so that he can get away with what he did. However, the last thing that I heard, he was in Atlanta, Georgia.
So that nigga took the Bigo shit, TKO and all that gun in his head. So my man, TKO, all he got was Bigo. Brandon Keys,
Honestly, living with NatureBoy was like living with like 14 different people. You never knew who you were going to get. Spirit circus don't in so many ways. And when it comes to getting the dead us, you're automatically slaved out to get the program.
keep my family together, but I really don't like this guy.
It was actually heartbreaking to see so many young people get controlled by a monster. My name is Janye, and I am from Las Vegas, Nevada. Janye is someone who had been watching Recruitment for quite some time. She was someone who was very corrective, I would say, boots on the ground. He really had been believing that he was God.
On your knees. Who's your God?
You are hungry.
I just felt like I had to do something about this. I thought that I could just create a community to help. I created this Instagram page named Carbonation is Falling. I created an alias.
Oh, that was her. Carbonation is falling. This bitch will be stalking me on Bigo. Who are you, bitch? Now I gotta face this.
Specifically the abuse. I created the flyers. The whole stalk people like all and stuff and on their windshield so they'll support their community.
Oh, Carbonation is falling.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of Christmas nights. But I don't regret it. Because Carbonation is a sexual brand by a monster who gets pleasure out of destroying other people's lives. It was a video specifically where he was having someone feed him strawberries and he was swapping them.
That's for strawberry. Bitch, that's for strawberry. Don't you act like your motherfucking mouth. You ain't gonna fuck strawberry or something.
I was like, this is just too much now. So I decided to call the police. I just knew like I couldn't get up until I see him go to jail. Because that would be the only thing that would give these people a chance at life again.
Police showed up every single day. It was almost like TV.
Here come the police.
Like clockwork.
Clockwork. Don't. Y'all can't fuck with police. They can watch me. I'm not doing anything illegal.
I'm going to be very honest.
Seeing the police presence showing up, it was heart racing.
That's why I recorded. I'm calling you something.
Every time they would come, he would just say like, oh yes, would you like anything? NatureBoy would be like, yeah, officer, yeah, come right on in.
Everybody's cool. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's all good.
After they would leave, we'd be online and they'd be like, see y'all, look what's going on here.
Is everything okay? Everything good. We have to take their authority or my authority? Your authority. Outstanding.
Nothing but everything. He really felt like he was just completely invincible.
Listen, I let you in to let you know what was going on. I don't have to do that. You work for me.
I work for the streets.
And I pay taxes, so I pay your bills.
We're going to keep on pushing. We're going to do whatever we have to do to see him go to jail.
If they start seeing me, the thought-stopping cliches weren't even working no more. I think it's always going to make consistency. But I think that the ridiculousness was so in our face. Janae wanted to leave. She was hit that night because she was supposedly disrespecting nature.
We're just hearing her getting slapped over and over again. And next thing you know, they're having sex.
I was assaulted that night by the women on his orders. When I tried to get out to my Uber, he calls me back inside.
This is what she was trying to leave.
And he tells me, listen, we commented you last time.
This is the rape. They went straight to the rape.
I just froze.
Who ass is that?
I didn't know what rape was, because within the cult, rape was a culture. So scary. It was so scary. It was so scary. I don't know what to do. But to just pray to God. The real God.
What real God?
The next day, she was in my patient. It felt like a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. I wanted to just heal. That's what I wanted.
Legio, in his nature, decided to broadcast that Janae was beat up, and she ended up leaving the cult.
Unfortunately, like the females kind of slapped you too hard. We had sex, and then I recovered.
Along the years, me and Janae, we've had like a relationship online. I called her phone was disconnected and everything, like all our social media. The only thing that was still open was Facebook Messenger. And I messaged her and I was like, hey, where are you? Are you good? Give me a call when you can. My biggest thing was I just didn't want her to go back. And so I ended up telling her about the videos that he put of her on Twitter where they were like engaged in sexual acts.
When I saw those sexual videos of me, it made me feel like humiliated. It made me feel like I would never have a life without NatureBoy. I never consented for them to be posted on that level.
I Googled, I was like, is it against the law to post pictures and videos of people doing sexual acts without their consent? And it came up like revenge porn. I was like, oh, this is a crime, so you should press charges. I told her I have been talking to the detective, but they said that they would need a victim. Initially, she was heavily indoctrinated with like that cult program. And she was like, man, I don't want to be the cause of like a black man falling, but it's about the fact that you deserve justice.
We didn't know it was bad. We didn't know any of the sexual assaults were actually sexual assaults. We just went with it, and he would sodomize us and tell us that you can do anything to us. Jimmy helped me understand but it was hard me taking all that. It's hard me taking all that time from me and bringing my nature away.
And I'll never forget it. She called me and she's like, I'm ready. So the first step was she went to the precinct and they took a general police report.
So my name is Jenny. I was recently ID, a part of a cult that's known as a sex cult, and they're located here in Atlanta. The person who runs it, his name is Elio Bishop. What happened is he's doing revenge porn, and he has a big presence online. So he's posting porn of me and him without my consent.
I first heard about NatureBoy Legio Bishop when a report was assigned to me. I am Sergeant Monica Finosian. I work for DeKalb County Police Department. Once I started investigating and speaking with the detectives, oh, well, that's the sex cult, and everybody in the unit pretty much knew about it. There were a lot of welfare checks done before I got involved. We couldn't force anybody to come forward. We couldn't force anybody to claim to be a victim, so it would get stuck. Today's case came across my desk, so we drove to have that initial interview with her. Our interview initially started with the allegations of the revenge porn, but as we spoke with her, we found out the allegations of rape and false imprisonment.
Can you just give me a little background on what's going on? Okay, well, I just got out of a cult. The cult leader, his name is Eligio Lee Bishop. I'm the lead.
This is all
I tried to say goodbye. He said, you're not going anywhere, I'm not letting you go. Takes my hand and taking me to the other room. He's telling me let's have sex. He's not going to be doing at this point. We make love, and at this point I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get out, so I'm going to have to sneak out.
Interview concluded at 12:28. I felt almost excited because we had enough for an arrest warrant, but the scale was huge.
Pussy was waiting to get that food. Like, let's get this nigga.
It was surreal. This was a major thing for us. There's a history in the U.S. with cults going back.
Tragedy tonight in Waco, Texas. At least 4 federal agents and a member of the cult were dead after an hour-long gunfight at the Colts Ranch. 14 other agents were wounded in the shootout that started when law officers tried to enter the compound.
The last thing I wanted was anything to go bad. We had to properly identify him. He wasn't going by a religious bishop. He always went by nature. So now we have to figure out, okay, do we have the proper identification on him? Then we started to identify the other people in the cult. Everybody goes by a different name.
Tell me your name, Reflection.
I'm DJ.
I'm Master True.
Captain Soular.
After that, we had to start on the history.
That was from Waco.
The main person I worked with was Steve. She documented his journey. She had a history that was very important for us.
It was a whirlwind of emotions. When the detectives reached out to me to ask for videos of the abuse, it's become something greater than what I ever thought. So it was a huge relief when I knew that I wasn't going to have to document abuse anymore.
This is crazy work.
Alicia promised spiritual enlightenment that turned into an environment that he used to have sex with women.
You must get back to nature.
To lure men to protect him, to be the fall guy when needed. Carbonation is a sex cult, dangerous and destructive sex cult.
Once we started watching the videos, we focused on his behavior. One of the limitations we had with the evidence was where did it occur. But most of the stuff didn't happen in the town. So there were crimes we had the right to press charges on. We also needed a search warrant. There were all of these electronics in that house. How did we discern that this was a cult? That this is someone who is controlling these people, who's manipulated these people? Elijah, he's not a stupid person. I think he knew the signs that something was coming.
In the house, we're doing lives. He's not telling us anything about what happened that night. Just calling Janae crazy. He's not really telling us a story. Next thing you know, we do indeed get a warrant. But when I showed it to him, he said, man, throw that away, man. And so I'm like, that's a real warrant. And they're just like, throw it away, that's trash. You all forget about it. He's making fun of the police. Next thing you know,
Police cars, all in the front yard. Helicopter, circle, SWAT team in the back, helmet, Kevlar, with shields, bands, battery, everything. Hey, we're good, we're good. I'm going to war with y'all.
came in there, searched the house. They arrested him. They arrested everybody, technically.
He's in cuffs. He's walking here like that.
But they really wanted him.
No, it's going down. It's going down. It's going down. Who's that? Big old news. Who's that? With the motherfucker was here.
The cult has been turned around on him for the good for the better.
All of y'all need to take this as an opportunity to get out and get the packet.
Leo Bishop, aka NatureBoy, is having a whole lot of it's work. You understand?
2 seconds.
DeKalb County Police raided a home after a 3-day investigation.
Bishop was taken to the DeKalb County Jail on charges of rape, false imprisonment, and sharing sexually explicit content on social media. Detectives and a tactical team swarmed. Several people were led away in handcuffs and put into squad cars.
He controls them, ladies that turn into abuse from what the neighborhood.
I first found out he was arrested through social media because everything went viral. I was very shocked. You know, those people pried my child out of my arms to allow him to abuse me. And they knew that I wasn't in the wrong. I was happy. I was happy.
You wasn't even there. When I found out that he had charges, initially I was only aware of the revenge crime charges. So when we found out that rape charges and false imprisonment charges were added, I was surprised.
Police arrested him here in the neighborhood.
When he was arrested, honestly, it felt surreal.
In my mind, he's not locked up. In my mind, I keep the thought frequency that he is free. Everybody released except NatureBoy. Literally the only person that's not released. Certain people choose to leave. 4 years of indoctrination.
That's how we really have uniforms.
In the world.
It's going to be another situation.
Bishop is on trial for rape and is said to be the leader of the Exploitation. He's accused of raping a female member as she tried to escape and then posted revenge for online.
Female that tried to escape was raped.
So it was about 2 years since I first charges on NatureBoy, and a lot happened. I was definitely harassed and very much abused by online friends.
The whole world is looking at this like it's a bad guy. Because these news channels and these trolls from the internet, they defend his character.
People call him liar.
That nigga came out the door. That bitch had my pink shit down there today.
I don't know about the rape charge. Obviously, it's always going to be her word against his, especially when there's not that physical evidence.
She was fucking with him in Vegas like that. That's crazy.
You know, tell my truth.
People are going to know our stories, and I think that ultimately justice will be served.
I think that he will end up in jail because I feel like he doesn't know when to stop.
I was just glad just to get it out because a lot of people didn't know exactly what happened that night.
Rachel Lightman, and I was serving as the official trial juror in this case. Between the state of Georgia and Alicia Bishop.
The thread that runs through this entire story is a desire for spirituality. What you will hear from all of the former members, Aaron, Kendra, Janae, and David, young people longing for a kind of knowledge.
March 24, 2022, Janae alleges that this young man here, Elijah Bishop, raped her. She also was falsely imprisoned by Elijah Bishop, meaning that she was not allowed to leave. She gives an interview to law enforcement. She never actually tells law enforcement that Mr. Bishop raped her. She described making love. This point of this case is whether or not she decided to make love to him or not. That's what the state has proved.
It felt good to speak up against my abuser. He felt small to me. It felt like, now you listen.
That shit kind of creepy.
Take you to the night of March 25, 2022.
That shit reminded me of, and then that makes me looking at
He basically was trying to convince me to sleep with him.
How did you respond?
I said no. I said I don't want to. I kept rejecting him actually. And he kept telling me, let me come inside you one more time.
And I asked him, why would you want to do that? And he puts his hands up. He told me, I'm not going to rape you. And when he said that, I froze. He's never said that word with me before. He's never even told me he's never going to rape me before. So when he had said that, I froze. I didn't know what to do.
Why did you feel like you couldn't leave in that moment?
She said.
He had his arms around me, and my legs were up, and I felt like I couldn't resist down. And I kept telling him, no.
Imagine that.
I said,
he had his arms around me, but I had my legs around him.
And he itched it, and he said, okay. And I said, all right, okay.
No, fuck that. We just
He
going
went
off
ahead
the
and
word.
proceeded to
You started having sex at that point.
Tell the truth.
What happened next?
They coerced her into this shit, bro.
my body started to shut down, and I felt like my body started to reject him. At this point, I'm crying to myself. So after that, after he was done and he finished, I told him I still want to leave. And he interrupts me and says, shut up. You're my bitch. You're my property. You're not going anywhere. You're not going nowhere.
I felt powerful in some type of way. I also felt vulnerable. I had a mission. I had a purpose to do. I felt like I was the only one that could do it in that moment.
That just don't sound good. You gonna have my baby, but ain't that no different? That's
Question for you, okay? He's asked you a bunch of times, absolutely, and eventually, he said just one more time, and you say, okay.
After he said, I'm not going to rape you.
Mm-hmm. Which means he's not going to force you, right?
This is wild, bro.
Watching the trial was actually crazy. Listening to him attorney, I'm like, wait, he's actually sounding pretty good. Like, he might have a chance.
So your response was, okay, right?
I was scared after he used the word rape.
You were so scared that you left the Uber outside and came back inside the house and went to the second floor.
I was confused. I was vulnerable. The whole thing was there.
When do we take responsibility?
He actually gets
I had an Uber show up. You called an Uber. You had a phone. You went back and said bye. Yes. She called the Uber. You could have called the nigga and texted me bye.
When Booker got out, he got to take the process down
This is wild.
Your life in that county executive. The court case now paused until Thursday at 9 a.m. The judge said that they will come back then and they will continue this trial.
She went to the door to leave, and she never even left the door.
Right.
She was trying to go upstairs and get her stuff, and they were like,
today, I will be giving my testimony. I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to carry this over anymore than we already have. Me and Kendra are married, so there's a level of mutual understanding between us.
I think because we have each other, it's not as hard, but it is a hard thing. Dealing with the feelings of being here and not knowing what to expect.
So I was thinking, oh snap, what if I stumble? And I'm like, oh, they're gonna think I'm lying, or they're gonna think I'm like, trying to dodge the question.
The thing is that you're human. We're human.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna be judging you to that degree that you just.
This is wild to me. This is bullshit. The way she treated that nigga, and then they go to the nigga, this is bullshit. We gotta set up.
Were folks able to say that to the bishop? No. Not without some form of reprisal, some type of remedy. What would happen if someone said that? That varied. So I've seen people be put in closets. I've seen people be kids.
So the main points with this was the history of his behaviors that we saw from not only Mr. Bishop, but also his followers.
Mr. Bishop would often refer to women as not having their own mind.
That he was his property and that he could do anything he wanted to us. No one was coming to save us in these foreign countries. He said no one cared about black girls like us.
All the bitches belong to me.
Abuse that was inflicted upon them was actually not even looked at as abuse, but in fact it was considered to be disciplinary.
And when my baby worthless, when I want, anyone of you disrespect, until your bitch.
When I finally testified, I feel like, man, like, I wanted to protect my life. They need to kill me and my child on multiple occasions. He said that my life is over and he never saw me again. And I have to now protect my family, my child, from himself. And that's all I have to say.
I have heard that the defense had some trouble with Elijah Bishop.
Do you want me to talk to your client about it? Okay, let's take 5 minutes.
He had expectations that couldn't be met because they're not legally viable. And so instead of having an attorney who was able to control his client was trying to control him.
Okay, I would like to fire my attorney at 5 new
Okay,
counts.
that is not an option. We're not stopping the trial. You're a new lawyer. That's not how it works.
It got shut down. In trial, you cannot stop and fire your attorney without a just cause.
Or proceed without an attorney.
You don't know my case.
He wanted more of his followers to testify. But if you put all those people out there, they're then subject to a cross-examination by the prosecution.
You just testified on direct that you had never seen Mr. Bishop be like family.
I know. Everybody that he wanted to bring up got kicked out.
That's
I didn't know how the judge felt about NatureBoy. By the end of the trial, you could figure it out, and you could tell she was not his biggest fan. She was as frustrated probably as his defense attorney with him, if not more.
Mr. Bishop, do you want to be heard?
At all times.
Because it's not.
All right, what is it you'd like me to consider?
Well, we don't know why she don't
I just want to say something to all of them.
It doesn't matter.
I forgive you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I forgive you, and I still love you.
All right, I just needed the courtroom. We're done with that. What is the recommendation from the state?
You've watched the defendant laughing in court as these young women are telling their stories to Your Honor again. He does not believe he did anything wrong. And he will be a danger to this community and a danger to any women he encounters.
As a defense attorney, my job and my obligation is to zealously defend my client. There's only one true God, and it's not Elijah Bishop. And he knows that. And I'm sorry with everything these folks have had to go through. In this case,
How would you say that?
I do think Mr. Bishop, the judge, is redeemable.
Look, see, I'm with him on that. I'm
In
fired.
all honesty, I wasn't
I
sure.
don't know what I'm saying. Give me the benefit of the truth.
So you just never know what they're going to decide.
You personal.
And the judge will questions of your weight right now. As soon as there's a verdict, we'll let you know.
He's supposed to defend me whether I'm guilty or not.
Guilty or not guilty, it's in the hands of the citizens of the county and how they feel about the nature of this case, and if they feel like this person belongs back in their community.
Judge, COVID too.
Do we have Mr. Bishop in corporate seat?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge got her mask on for sure now.
I understand that the jurors have reached a verdict.
She got diagnosed with COVID. She got diagnosed with COVID, Judge. She's supposed to take 13 days off of quarantine.
This is the verdict of the jury in Indictment number 24 CR 1183.
That's why
State of Georgia versus Eligio Bishop. Count one is raised.
That nigga don't know how to feel.
Count one, how does the jury find?
Wow, this is crazy.
Guilty. And count two, false imprisonment. Guilty. Count three, count four, and count five.
What are those counts?
Guilty.
When I heard them say all guilty, I was just like, wow, finally someone believes me.
I would have been inclined to exercise some discretion had Mr. Bishop shown any remorse, guilt, or regret throughout this process. Mr. Bishop, you're a master manipulator. You took advantage of these folks who were looking for some guidance, looking for some connection, or looking for some comfort. And you were able to fill a void for them. But in the process, you completely took advantage of them and have caused potentially a replicate harm. He'll be sentenced to life without possibility of parole, followed by 10 years consecutive for the false imprisonment.
They left the way they left because they didn't want to have to face the whole shit. Like even when we left, I didn't want to have to face everybody, tell everybody what happened that day. So I just slipped out and we left.
I have to be completely honest. It was very emotional.
They don't want to say they don't want to say
So
there's a lot of good to it. There's no different than elementary, middle school, high school, when
the judge had announced the verdict, I was so
they making a big difference.
happy.
There's
Like,
not any black young
people look
like
down on me for being this
ever.
happy, but I don't care. I'm happy.
This was the first time.
So the moment she was like life plus 10, no parole,
They were trying to be God.
I get to live my life in peace.
That's why the story's so big.
I do feel like I missed out on a lot of time that I can't get back. Sometimes your family never come back around after stuff like that. Sometimes your friends never come back around after stuff like that. I watch people who were in carbonation go back home and their family does not accept them anymore. They are completely alone. I watch people crash out. What do? Go out into the world and people are gonna be like, hey, I haven't seen you around in a long time. Where have you been? Like to say, I was in a cult. I'm just gonna tell them like I was out here running behind some guy named NatureBoy, and I thought that I was living, gonna have eternal life in the jungle with this guy. Like it's life destroying. Like my whole life felt like it was just like shattered.
I feel guilty for that. You gotta know exactly who you are, what the truth is, or use yourself to anybody that can potentially mislead you.
So much richness that was in carbonation that was taken away. Golden people covered in dust, battered, bruised. It had to be dismantled. It had to be destroyed so people can resurrect and be the people that they're meant to be.
It will continue to maintain the innocence. It will continue to blame the system and white supremacy. It will blame the victim, and that will be destroyed more likely to the day he dies. I don't think it is the complete end of NatureBoy. Unfortunately, he'll try to revive something. So, NatureBoy may live on.
She don't like to say that.
This is a prepaid phone from NatureBoy, an inmate at the DeKalb County Jail.
Everybody that was there is affected by that nigga to this day. Get stabbed 9 times in jail. The story doesn't stop there. That's a whole other story. I ain't never heard about it. No, niggas like Efro. Efro and Soka was trash. I've seen somebody lit. Yeah, and they left out.
But you filming this to your channel, I definitely.
Well, first of all, they could have put so much work. You ain't seen nothing that you saw in your research. Some of the shit. Yeah, you seen it, I'm sure. What are you saying? All I hear is Vaseline. Oh, NatureBoy.
A lot of white people.
She kept saying all the clips of white people. All the clips of white people. Every time he had his hair, they made an afro.
And then it curly too. It wasn't even like he was black.
That's not even him.
I was just like,
It's like it's not even they did AI. They didn't even do it right.
That's how you know it's some bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit in that. It felt like they didn't put enough.
Maybe I take it personal because we lived the experience.
Yeah, we take it very personal. Exactly what the Jackson 5 was thinking right now. It's exactly what they're feeling. That's the good one to think about the Jackson movie. It's set with Janet and Tito and all that. They're like, that's some bullshit. They did a terrible job. For real, that's not real. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit and not a fluff.
A lot of act out. I think I'm most surprised with how much acting Velvet did. She had the most screen time, the most clips, the most she did the most
at the table. Okay, we can do it at the other room. We got the reaction video now after.
The bathtub seats are so cool.
That was wild. The pool, she had a pool.
She was a pool and
they wanted to get her ass naked.
She
wanted to have her in some water.
She recorded this shit pregnant and postpartum.
They had her in all types of outfits, wild ass outfits with turbans on.
She had at least 5 different outfits. That's 5 different times that came to me.
They spent about $20 on their outfits.
That was just a
combined.
Because one of them just got me.
This was a tea production.
That's how I get this so spiritual. And I'm like, how did Medea get a contract?
They didn't talk about
Medea got a contract. She was in there for 2 seconds.
I just think it's funny
they
how
wrote that bitch in to give her a contract. She sent me the contract. I said, what the fuck is this?
No, what's sad though is how Janae still describes it as making love. That's how
that's wild to me. The prosecutor, she never said he raped y'all.
She said we made love. That's how
every time. She said, my boo wanted to come at me. She said, I said, I made love.
Now my body froze because that's
I froze. Like you froze. What you do? You just stay frozen. Did you ever wake up? Did you ever wake up?
They did him worse than Diddy.
They did that nigga worse than anybody in the history of America. What are you talking about? Brother Polite said, I'm guilty of rape for the 14-year-old. He got 7 years. Jamal. Rashad Jamal.
But it's also
raped another 14-year-old.
Atlanta.
It's Atlanta though. It's where he was at. He's in Atlantis. They don't want nobody to thrive in Atlantis.
Shit like that though. The worst place to be is in Atlanta.
I didn't even know it was that bad in Atlanta. Nigga, I used to do all my crimes in Atlanta. But I was, I had a lot of help. I had a lot of city council members on my team. So I had to worry about stuff like that.
Now all of Lemmy and Zeus cabaret girls are speaking out over their experience with him.
Oh, they all trying to make them relevant to this shit now. It's about to be a whole bunch of people coming out about their networks.
I'm gonna give Janae a call. I'm talking to live. We're gonna give Janae a call, guys. We just watched that. That was very interesting. That was deep. Huh?
You better call her right now.
You can.
You better really talk to her about this shit.
That's my family member. That's my. I love her. Like what you talking about? She may or may not answer. I just want to check on her. I want to let her know I watched it. She should be asleep by now, though, so she probably won't even answer. But that was interesting. That was interesting to say the least. Definitely going to do a follow-up video on this in a more structured format. So in a more structured format, we're going to talk about these things, and it's going to be very interesting. And we also started that podcast recently. So go to my live section. If you don't see it in videos, go to live and you'll see that we're releasing a new podcast. The first one drops tomorrow, and we have a few stockpiled for you. But this is definitely going to be a topic because there's a lot of things that need to be talked about. There's a lot of things that need to be revealed, and there's a lot of different perspectives about the same things. So I want to speak with my brothers and my sisters because I know them and I was with them. And, Janae is the mother of my daughter, my beautiful daughter, Azuli Rose. And Velvet is the mother of my son, Mage Hosea. He's a G. He's super dope. So, this is my new family. Eliana is my goddaughter. I will love her and take care of her forever. And maybe one day I'll be able to see Eligio, play chess with him and talk with him and make sure he's okay too. Because I wish nothing ill on anybody at the end of the day. As wild as things are, there's a whole nother side of the story. I was in jail recently, and I'll end this here. I was just in the federal prison, and I wrote a book. I wrote 2 books. The first book is out now. It's called Building the Kingdom. You can go get that on my website. That's for school, everything. But I wrote another book, and that book was called The Other Side of the Story. And in The Other Side of the Story, I tell my complete perspective and experience of everything that happened in Carbonation. And the book's already written. And I wrote it because being in jail made me feel like I want my kids to be able to hear what the experience was from me, not just from what other people had to say. So maybe this is a signal to put that book out, The Other Side of the Story. And there's another production that will be way better than that I feel like tells the truth, tells a deeper side. They didn't, and without doing a reaction now, where are we doing a reaction video?
We're about to go live and do the reaction video in the next one.
On
YouTube.
Your YouTube.
YouTube, Facebook, Twitch,
Okay, well I'll end up posting. Yeah, King Pain's channel, and I'll post a link to it. But I'm glad all the same people that was here, you guys been here the entire time. That's what's up. And you know, it gets kind of deep. I don't remember the last thing I was saying, but we're gonna go. I want to do a review and a recap on everything in that video. So that was interesting. It's a whole other side, and I think the other side of the story still needs to be told. Come over to this next video, and then also stay up to date with the podcast. So subscribe. I love you guys. Y'all hold it down, but keep it up. Peace.